Jake, I'm still waiting for the translator to call. He said he's gonna call. I don't know if he's having trouble calling.
Okay, we'll be here.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Hello, who's this?
This is Imam Sykes, brother. Something happened. I couldn't get rid of that other show on the other number.
No, that's fine. This is excellent. You are good. In 3 minutes, we have with us Jake, so that's good. Just stay in this line, you're good.
Great.
Two minutes.
Until showtime. Forwarded through automatic.
Assalamu alaikum. Please call the number 347-637-2803. I'm gonna go live in 1 minute. Go ahead and call 347
1 minute.
637-2803. Yes, thank you. Hello, who's this?
This is Imam Sykes.
Okay, good.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Assalamu alaikum, greeting of peace everyone. This is your host Rashid Mahdi and this is Islam for Mankind. We welcome all our guests. Who's with us today, who's calling the Islam for Mankind? Welcome. Imam Saik, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. This is Imam Sykes, and with us tonight we have Santiago Perez and Jake Rappner.
Excellent. Today's topic will be about social justice, and we would like to touch on it in different aspects, and would like to touch on it from a religious point of view and from different aspects. So why don't you go ahead and go Imam Saik, and we just been joined by another caller. This is Islam for Mankind. Can you state your name, please?
Hello, assalamu alaikum, Brother Rashid. This is
Jesus, assalamu alaikum. Excellent that you join us. You'll be translating the show into Spanish. So we have with us Dr. Jesus, which will be facilitating and translating the show live into Spanish. So we welcome our guests. We have with us Imam Saik and we have with us Jake and Santiago. Imam Saik, why don't you go ahead and introduce the two guests, please?
Okay, well, the first person I would like to introduce is Santiago Perez.
Yes.
He is an organizer and farm worker and longtime member with the Coalition of the Makohi Workers in the tomato industry. So, welcome, Santiago.
We have another caller. If you would please, another caller. Can you please state your name?
Hola, yo soy Santiago Pérez, soy miembro de la Coalición de Trabajadores Locales.
Dr. Jesus, can you please translate?
We also have Jake Ratner, who is the organizer for Just Harvest USA, and he will also, his purpose was to do translation for Santiago. So we have Jesus and Jake who are going to be able to do translation for us and to talk about it. Jake is, as I said, an organizer for Just Harvest, and Santiago and Jake are visiting the Orlando right now, and they are working on a campaign to improve wages and working conditions for tomato pickers. And so what they have been successful signing contracts with about 10 different corporations such as McDonald's and Whole Foods and Taco Bell and Burger King, Subway and others, so that they will only purchase tomatoes from farmers that are treating their workers with dignity and respect and paying them a fair wage and making sure that they're safe.
Excellent. I'm going to give the mic to Dr. Jesus. Can you hear us? Can you translate, please, what Imam Saik just said, please?
Nos estaban diciendo de que él pertenece a la coalición, que es un grupo que está asociado, se está organizando en sustitución de lo que se conoce como las organizaciones sindicales, en vez de poder tener derechos bajo uniones sindicales, ya que la ley en el estado de la Florida no lo permite. Por ello hacen una coalición, que es como una asociación, en donde se pretende entonces exaltar y tratar de proteger los derechos de los empleados, de manera de que estos queden protegidos y que no estén trabajando jornadas de trabajo exageradas, ni se les esté pagando un jornal inadecuado e indebido por su trabajo, evitando situaciones que pueden ser consideradas como esclavitud. Por ejemplo,
Santiago, go ahead, por favor. Dr. Jesus, can you tell him to go because he doesn't speak English, please? Can you tell him to start speaking?
sí, por favor, Sebastián, ¿puede continuar?
Hello?
Hello.
Let me, this is Imam Saik, and let me just share,
Yeah, go ahead, Imam Saik, go ahead.
a few of the issues, and then I'd like to ask Jake or Dr. Jesus to interpret for Santiago so he can expound on this. But basically, the majority of the food that we eat, is planted and harvested by farm workers who, are very often young people who are exploited. They're being paid less than a minimum wage. They are working in hazardous conditions. They suffer exposure to pesticides. They lack many civil rights afforded to others. And it's like sort of like a modern day kind of slavery. And also we know that many of the farmer health insurance, workers' compensation, disability insurance, and sick pay. And we also know that some farm workers actually die every year in the field from heat and dehydration.
Nos están diciendo a mí que estamos confrontando unas situaciones donde los jornaleros que están trabajando en recogido de tomate en el estado de la Florida se están encontrando con unas situaciones bien adversas en términos de las horas de trabajo que tienen que estar desempeñando sus funciones, en las cuales son horas de trabajo extremadamente altas, viven extremadamente prolongadas, las temperaturas son unas temperaturas extremadamente altas. Y estas personas son aquellos individuos que están produciendo los alimentos que están llegando hasta nuestros platos, nuestras mesas en nuestros hogares. Y
would like to get, if we could, to get Santiago to expound upon that a little bit, to talk a little bit more, because what we are trying to organize is to get people here to go to Lakeland in March. There's going to be a march, and the farm workers are going to go on the property in public, because the public has not yet been willing to sign a contract with them in order to guarantee that they will advocate for respectable wages for farm workers and make sure that they're safe as well. I think another important factor that we want to reiterate tonight is that, without our nation's between 1 to 2 million farm workers, our multi-billion-dollar agricultural industry wouldn't survive. And we know that this is a tremendous industry, and we will die if we don't have food. So, I would like to get Santiago to talk more about the specifics of the program that's going to be in Lakeland and some of the specific conditions that are going on in the Immokalee area. If you could do that, please.
Imam Abdul Rahman, que él entiende que es adecuado que en este momento pues se dirija al público nuestro amigo el señor Santiago, cosa de que pueda explicarle en detalle cuáles son las circunstancias que están ocurriendo, qué es lo que está pasando en la Publix como compañía y por qué estos no están afiliados a tratar de ayudar a los jornaleros y a las personas que se están desempeñando en el recogido de estos productos agrícolas, para así entonces nosotros poder también organizarnos adecuadamente y tener mejor conocimiento de la situación que rodea todo el caso. Adelante, señor Santiago, por favor.
Claro que sí, estamos trabajando el programa por comida justa, donde queremos hacer una conciencia a todos los consumidores para que ellos también sean parte del cambio.
We want to invite all the consumers because they want everybody to be part of the change that they would like to make in their lives. Diga, señor Santiago.
Sí, ahorita tenemos la campaña en contra de Publix que se ha estado negando, pero lo importante es que tenemos 10 corporaciones que nos están apoyando.
La campaña en contra de los supermercados Publix, debido a que Publix no los quiere apoyar, y para ellos tienen otras 10 organizaciones que sí, con lo que ellos sí cuentan con su respaldo. Por eso they have another organization that they have their response, positive response, and this is the only corporation that is not different name is Publix Supermarket. Señor Santiago, ¿cuáles son las otras 10 organizaciones que nos están ayudando?
Pues ya tenemos contratos firmados con Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, Trader Joe's, Bon Appetit, Sodexo, Armac y no tienen.
Those are the companies that they are already endorsing them and are giving them a positive response in order to help to make a positive change. Dígame, Santiago, por favor.
Y por eso queremos que vengan más compradores de tomate a la mesa del diálogo, porque son ellos los que se benefician del trabajo que hacen los recogedores de tomate en el campo.
You would like the people that are actually purchasing the entities and companies that are purchasing the tomatoes, they would like them to come to the negotiating table, to the bargaining table, in order to ensure that those who are getting the financial benefit as well are also participating in the change that they want to make. Adelante, Santiago, por favor.
Por eso que Publix sigue siendo un peligro para enforzar los acuerdos que ya tenemos, porque para el norte hay muchas corporaciones que se están negando, porque ellos dicen, ¿por qué Publix, que es un mercado local en la Florida, no está haciendo lo correcto?
Para el norte, usted dice, ¿en dónde? ¿Norte de Estados Unidos o norte de la Florida?
Norte de Estados Unidos está también Shop, Giant, Apple, Kroger.
Ah, ubicados en el norte?
Está para Boston, Massachusetts, está Bishop, está Groveland, está Yaya, Ajua.
Okay. He's talking about the Boston, Massachusetts, and he's talking about the northern states, the attitude that the public has shown is not assisting and it's not beneficial to them, and it's keeping some other organization under the northern states to endorse them and to also participate in a public fashion. Fíjate, Marcelo, por favor.
Por eso el 5 de marzo vamos a tener un ayuno enfrente de la sede de Publix en Lakeland con muchos trabajadores que vienen de la Florida.
On the 5th of March, they're going to have a fasting that is being organized. All the workers are going to be gathering, they're going to be meeting there in order to show up the endorsement that they're getting both from workers and the public in general. Díganme, Santiago.
También hay mucha gente de fe, ya hemos unido a muchas iglesias de diferentes religiones, a estudiantes universitarios que nos van a estar acompañando.
They're getting people from different religious extractions as well as students are going to be participating in the fasting that will take place on those days. Any questions for Sheena or anyone else?
Now continue. We're going to give the mic to Jake. Jake, do you have any comments about before you will let? Do you want to say something, or do you want to add something to the what Santiago is saying? Jake, can you hear us?
Hello, Jake. Santiago, Jake, I'm up here.
Right. We're going to give the mic to Imam Saik if you want to say something. Imam Saik, you are on the air.
I wanted to say I think it's very important. There's an organization here in the Orlando area named Yaya is the name of it. This is the organization Justice for Farm Workers. Yaya stands for Youth and Young Adult Network of National Farm Worker Ministry. And this local organization is going to provide transportation for all the people from Orlando that would like, or interested parties that would like to march in this March to Lakeland event in support of the Coalition for the Tomato Workers and their appeal to public to sign this agreement to only purchase tomatoes where there are no human violations and people getting any kind of, undignified wages. So I want to give you a number and a name. Laritza Barzon, and that's L-E-R-I-C-A Barzon, C-A-R-Z-N. Call her at 386-801-1232. They will arrange to provide transportation to go and march in this fall in Lakeland.
We have another caller just join us. Can you please state your name? We have another caller just join us. Hello? Can you hear us? Continue, please. Continue, Imam Saik. Excellent. Dr. Jesus, can you please translate? Dr. Jesus, can you please translate? Are you still with us? Dr. Jesus? Okay, we're gonna give the mic to Jake. Jake, can you please go ahead and translate what Imam Saik just said? Jake, can you hear us?
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having us on the show today. It's been a pleasure to be with you. And thank you to Santiago and the CAW. Thank you for sharing our work, and we hope you can come out again on March 10th.
Thank you. Can you please translate into Spanish, please? Because for some reason we lost Dr. Jesus. So I'm going to go ahead and call him so he can join us again. If you would please do the translation until Dr. Jesus come back in line. Jake?
Sorry, a lot of static on the line.
Okay. Please, if you are... the best way is to just to call the number and not have the radio far from it or the internet far from it, so that way there is no echo. Just by calling the number, you are live and you're already participating in the show. So that's the best way. That's the best way to.
Sorry, actually, the static makes it impossible to hear through the
Okay.
Very bad on the line,
Can you hear us?
bad. But I wanted to say that the Holy Quran, the right of the poor, is supposed to be taken care of. The wealthy man is asked to give. It is not the charity, but that which is actually a right to the poor. So in Islam, the wealthy giving zakat, the haq, is a matter of right. So it's actually an obligation that these funds should go back to the poor. So the rich farmer, the farmer who's making money, he has an obligation to give a dignified wage to those people who are working for him.
So the static has been solved. So we continue, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Jesus. Can you please call back? The number is 347-637-2803. We're still live. 347-637-2803.
Salam alaikum, Brother Rashid. Who do we have on the line with us now?
Wa alaikum assalam. We still have you, and we have Jake, and we have Santiago. We're gonna give the mic to Jake to go ahead and translate what Imam Saik just said until Dr. Jesus is trying to call back. Yes.
So, Rashid, this is Miguel.
Oh, Miguel, how are you?
Good. Assalamu alaikum, Miguel.
Walaikum assalam, Imam Saik.
How long you been with us? You've been so quiet.
I've been here since 8. I've heard most of the conversation.
Oh, I apologize. You could have go ahead and yeah, continue, please.
For me?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Well, I just heard Imam Saik quote from the Quran, and I want to commend him tremendously for supporting Yahya and announcing what they're doing and in support of CIW and the event that's going to take place in Lakeland in March. The Bible also, I also heard Santiago say that there are going to be a lot of religious representatives there, and that's wonderful. It's great to show solidarity among all of the religious faiths, because this is also a religious issue. The Bible says in Proverbs, whoever gives to the poor will not want, but he who hides his eyes will get many a curse. And it also says, whoever oppresses the poor to increase his own wealth or gives to the rich will only come to poverty. And that's similar to what Imam Saik was saying, that the wealthy farmers are not doing right by keeping the wages so low
wanted to touch on that too because the Holy Quran in the 3rd chapter, which is the house of Imran, it says that you cannot attain to righteousness unless you spend out of what you love, and what you spend, God surely knows it. And so we can't attain to righteousness unless we give a part of what God has entrusted us with as a test to those who are less fortunate. So there's a very strong spiritual principle here, and if we could only pause for a minute to just imagine how our lives would be if it wasn't for these almost 2 million farm workers that are out there in the heat of the day harvesting fruits and vegetables so that we can enjoy them every day. I don't think when we sit down at our tables we give gratitude to God and to these people for the way that they are serving us. And in light of the fact that they are giving us nutrients and the things which we need to sustain our life, you know, we should make sure that they're validated and treated with dignity, paid in a fair wage, and that they are protected from pesticides and all kinds of labor challenges that they have.
Imam Saik, if you give me the reference, I can play that recitation if you would like.
That's in Surah 3, verse 92, Al-Imran.
92, excellent. Okay, we're gonna continue while I'm looking for that reference. 98, you said? 92, okay.
92, verse 92.
Excellent. We shall play it right now.
Ye will not attain unto piety until ye spend of that which ye love, and whatsoever ye spend, Allah is aware thereof.
That was an excellent recitation. You will not attain into piety until you spend of that which you love, and whatsoever you spend, Allah is aware thereof. So as Imam said, you know, even when we give, we're supposed to give not our leftover, but the best of what we have. These farm workers, indeed, they are giving the best of what they have, all their sweat. And this country is built on farmland. But people take them for granted. You know, when it comes down to it, we all love technology and everything, but you cannot eat technology. But what really nourish us is all these farmers that working behind the scene, and they are working tirelessly day in and day out, and they're not benefiting. Everybody else is benefiting from their sweat, and they're the only ones suffering in modern slavery. And as people of religion, as people of conscience, we cannot let this continue to happen. As a people of religion, as people of conscience, as consumer, we have a power as consumer if we all unite, and we can really retell the story. We can tell this powerful grocery stores that it's not okay to abuse these farm workers. It's not okay to take advantage of them. It's not okay to continue this modern slavery in the 21st century. Shame on them. They should give their due wages, and they should restore the dignity. They are human beings. They are no less than each and every one of us. We're going to give the mic. Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I wanted to share one more thing. You know, the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, laid great emphasis on this aspect of private expenditure. He condemned those who did not help the poor members of the community. And it is reported that he said that anyone who turned away a hungry beggar from his doorstep would be told by God on the day of judgment, O son of Adam, I begged food from you, but you refused to give me food. So on the day of judgment, you know, I want to share with you that in 1979, I left Manhattan, New York, in the ministry to go work with my brother in Immokalee. And I think this is so interesting that I would have had this experience. And the conditions were so bad that I could not stay there. And Catholic Church came in and began to do some great work there. But still, it's still going on today. I could not stay there. And one of
That is amazing.
We have to advocate for them and with them, and we have to stand behind them so that on that day, we're not going to hear God say to us that these people asked you for food, the sons of Adam, and now you are wanting something from me. I have nothing for you. So,
Yeah, continue, Miguel. Continue. We have a new caller come in. Can you please state your name? Hello? We have another caller that just joined in and most likely didn't hear us. Alright, we go back to our conversation. Miguel, you're on the air.
Yes, I agree fully with Imam Said. These farm workers, they feed us. And why can't we take care of them? Why can't we help them increase their wages and have some dignity of life and work? They feed us. Who else, if they were not around, would do the work they do? It's strenuous. It's heart-breaking, back-breaking labor. And also, generally in the Bible, when Jesus tells his disciples about those that visit the poor, visit those in prison, and those that help the ill, and those that help the poor. Those are the ones who will see the kingdom of God. But those that don't do any of that stuff, turn their eyes away, and who refuse to listen to the pleas of the people, of the suffering, those will be cast out of heaven. They will not see heaven. And there's a telling story in the Bible where there's a parable where Jesus says to his disciples, those that do good unto me, those that have come and visited me, and those who have helped me, they will see the kingdom of God. And the disciples asked him, well, when did we see you? Well, not the disciples, the people during the end time, during the time of Jesus' coming again. And he will gather all the people unto him, and he will separate them into two groups. And on one group, he says to them, thank you for all that you did for me, for coming to visit me, for giving me food when I needed it, for giving me a place to stay when I had no home. And they asked him, well, when did we see you and do all these things to you? And he said, if you did them unto the least of these, which he meant the poor, which he meant neighbor, then you did it unto me. And so he turns to the other group and says, away from me, you sons of Satan, because when I needed food, you didn't give me anything to eat. When I needed clothing, you didn't give me anything to wear. When I needed a place to stay, you did not give me a home. And they asked him, when did we see you in these circumstances to do these things for you? And he said, you didn't do them for the poor. You didn't do them for the needy, for the suffering, for the orphan and the widow. So be off with you. And so, similarly to what Imam Said was saying, and again, the Bible and the Quran are in lockstep here. They are in agreement that God rewards those who do for the suffering, for the oppressed.
Definitely. We have another caller. Can you please state your name, please? We have another caller. Can you please state your name? Continue, Imam Said.
well, another thought came to me that, Anas reported that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that if anyone supplies a need of one of my people desiring thereby to please me, he has pleased me. He who has pleased me has pleased God, and he who pleases God will be sent to paradise by God. And then he also reported that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, for him who aids one who is distressed, God will record 73 acts of pardon. So, by helping one who is distressed, this is a way to get like expiation and pardon. So, this was the lifestyle of our Prophet. He always fed 40 people to his north, 40 to south, 40 to the east, and 40 to the west before he retired at night. And these farm workers, that's what they're doing. They're feeding more than 40 people. They're feeding the universe. And so we should turn our heart and our eyes and our thoughts and our prayers and our gratitude to them. And I want to just remind the audience that the organization, the local organization called Yahya, Youth and Young Adult Network of the National Farm Worker Ministry, they are providing transportation for Orlando members and any interested party that would like to march in the March 10 March in Lathan. And this particular march is in support of the Coalition for Tomato Workers in their appeal to get Publix to sign this agreement to only purchase tomatoes where there are farmers that are working with laborers in a dignified way where there's no human violations. And anyone who's interested or needs transportation, if they contact Larissa Garzon, and her phone number is 386-801-1232. And God willing, lots of people that are listening out there on radio and will call Larissa and say, I want to be there. I want to march on behalf of the people that are putting food in my refrigerator and food in my house, and that are giving me the strength and the nourishment to have these fresh fruits and vegetables that approximately 2 million farm workers in a multi-billion-dollar industry are working to build. And out of that multi-billion-dollar industry, we need to advocate that they get their fair share of that.
Yes, Miguel, go ahead.
I double what Imam Said just said to contact Yahya. They have been so supportive of the farm workers and PIW, the Coalition of Imamli Workers, for so long. This is a wonderful thing to see the youth taking the lead, being the vanguard of these movements. It's just phenomenal. And I commend you, Imam Said. You are a hero to me, a role model to me, for doing what you do, for supporting the young adults. Not many religious leaders would do what you're doing. A lot of times there's a lot of grandstanding.
Santiago, can you please, Miguel, can you please tell Santiago if he can hear us to say a closing remark, because he would like to go?
Great. I'm going to pass the phone to Santiago.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, continue, please.
Great. All right, and then I'll translate what he says. So here's Santiago.
Excellent.
Hello.
Hola, Santiago. ¿Cómo está?
Los invitamos para el 10 de marzo, que vamos a romper el ayuno. Va a haber mucha gente de distintos lugares, de iglesias. Los invitamos, yo también voy a hacer el ayuno porque yo quiero que el día de mañana mis hijos tengan un plato de comida en la mesa. And so once again, we're inviting all of you to join us on March 10th for the break fast ceremony outside of Publix's headquarters in Lakeland. And on that day, a lot of people of faith will be joined by students and a lot of national people from around the country to join with us in solidarity and break the fast. And I myself as a farm worker will be fasting because I know that if I go hungry today, there's a chance that my children won't have to go hungry tomorrow.
Can you just tell us the time of the actual march? Jake, I know it's on the 10th, but what time is it?
So the march will begin at 12 o'clock p.m. on the 10th.
12 12 p.m. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that everybody heard that on their radio land, so they know the time and they can make plans for that.
And that's when the actual march will be starting. But as you mentioned, the YAYA, the Youth and Young Adults Network, that's coordinating the free transportation there, will be gathering around 9 o'clock a.m. at their offices to have a breakfast and then to provide the transportation to the march.
Well, if with your permission, I just want to acknowledge, this is no small feat. I just want to point out that, the workers have stepped up to the plate, people like Santiago and Jake, and they have managed to successfully get contracts with 10 different corporations, like McDonald's and Whole Foods, Taco Bell and Burger King and Subway. So, the Santiagos of the world and the Jake Raptors of the world, these people are not crying and complaining and expecting other people. They are out there and they are making a difference in the world, and they are making a statement. And so I want to congratulate them and to just say I'm so proud of you for your efforts, and I pray for your continued success in what you're doing.
Ok, gracias por todo y buena suerte. So, yeah, thank you so much for those kind words, and wish us luck.
Sí, mucha suerte.
Absolutely, we will be praying with you. We will be praying with you again. That's Fast for Fair Food, March 5 to the 10th, from 12 noon, 3-mile procession to Publix headquarters. The gathering at Publix. The address is 3636 Haddon Boulevard, Lakeland, and they will be fasting, like they said. The farmer workers, they will be fasting to bring awareness of this event. So, is there a number that the people can call you, or that if they want to find out or they want to join the event? Are you still with us?
Yeah, 386-801-1232.
And just to find out more information, you can visit our website at ciw-online.org/fast. Once again, that's www.ciw-online.org/fast.
Excellent, excellent. Well, a closing remark, if you would please. We still have only 19 minutes to wrap up the show, so I would leave the floor to anybody that would like to interject anything, and we have only 19 minutes to the show. So the floor is
Well,
open.
I'm going to, with your permission, just reiterate some things because I don't think this can be said enough. That the majority of the food that we eat is planted and harvested by these workers. Most of our fruit and vegetables are hand-picked, and without these workers, this multi-billion-dollar agricultural industry would not survive. And so they labor long hours for low wages, doing the most dangerous and important job in the country. No food in the belly makes it very hard to learn and makes it very hard to work. So again, Santiago Perez, organizer, farm worker, long-time member of the Coalition of Immokalee Workers, and Jake Rappner, organizer for Just Harvest USA. Remember that, www, I think it's CIW- right, online.org/fast. Is that right, Jake?
Yeah, it's like -online.org/fast.
Dash, okay, because we want to give you guys the support. We want to acknowledge you that you're successful in getting contracts, just as you're going to be successful again on the 12th of March. The 10th of March. Yeah, 10th of March at 12 o'clock p.m. And so I want to reiterate that it's important to support these young people. It's important that we as American people do not allow farm workers to die in fields because of heat and dehydration. There are very few industries that could get away with what I term as modern day slavery, and that can employ people with the lack of health insurance, workers' compensation, disability insurance, sick pay, exposed to people to toxic pesticides that causes rashes and illness and birth defects. We must take a stand on this issue. We must advocate and we must broker for equal rights and for the God-given inalienable rights that our brothers Santiago and Jake and many sisters that are working with them deserve to have in their life. And,
Speaking of sister, we're going to listen to an audio podcast of a Muslim lady.
It's about always having balance, and I think that's what the Prophet's message, peace be upon him, it was fundamentally about having balance and equilibrium in all that we do. So that was also something which was quite revealing to me when I became a Muslim, is that when we talk about justice, sometimes our sense of justice can lead us to an injustice in the people who become the perpetrators, who were the initial perpetrators of an injustice against us. And the Prophet, peace be upon him's message was always that you repel bad with good, that you always respond to evil with good, that you should always remember that God loves justice and never transgress the limits, so that even when people are committing serious injustices against you, even when the perpetrators may be responsible for heinous crimes, you have a moral responsibility and a moral obligation in front of God to always uphold justice and never yourself transgress those limits.
And that was a powerful message from a Muslim lady.
The Prophet, he
And
would want to keep.
I would like also to state what Martin Luther King, this can be found in ciwonline.org, and they have a quote of Martin Luther King. I would like to read it. Non-violence is a powerful and just weapon. It is a weapon unique in history, which cuts without wounding and ennobles the man who wields it. It is a sword that heals. Martin Luther King Jr. A closing remark for Miguel, please.
Thank you, Rashid. I thank you all for this wonderful program and the information that you have given us. I don't know why we keep fighting these old battles again, over and over, but I am glad to see that there are people like all of you who stand your ground and stand for righteousness and stand for the oppressed. I am with you in heart and in spirit if I can't be with you in body. But I will continue to spread the word about the Lakeland event in March. And again, I commend you all. And as I was saying, Imam Said, you are very humble, a very humble man, a great religious leader, and you stand by the poor, the oppressed, the humble, and again, you're my role model, and keep up the wonderful work that you do, wonderful work that Rashid does. I also thank you, Rashid, and for all that you do, spreading the word with your radio programs, and also Jake and Santiago with their organizations. Keep up the good fight.
Thank you all for joining us. We still have 13 minutes. Jake or Santiago, closing remark, please.
Sure. Thank you so much for having us tonight. It's been wonderful for us just to see how deep your support is and how committed to the struggle of justice that all of you are. And so thank you for standing together with us in solidarity. And we know that only by standing together will we be successful. And just to mention a little bit more about our struggle before we go is, in many ways, we see